Hello, my name is BlackJack Dave, and welcome to my first video on BlackJack. This video will go over a little about me, an overview of future videos, and to finish it off, a BlackJack quiz to test your current knowledge. Greetings. I love the game of BlackJack. Each deal has non-stop excitement. First, you see what type of hand you will receive and hope the dealer's up card is not painted. Next, you have to decide to hit, stand, double, split, or surrender. But it is not over yet. The dealer can still bust, or of course, beat your hand. However, the best part of blackjack is there is a correct way to play every hand. If you have the skill to determine when the odds are in the player's favor, yes, the game of blackjack can be a winning effort. And through this video series, I will show you how from step 0 to the final step. This is the first video in a series where I will show you how to play and win at the game of blackjack. The great feature of blackjack is there a correct way to play each hand, and at certain times the player has the edge in the casino. However, I will warn you, having the edge does not mean you'll win that hand all the time. It does mean you should bet more when you have the edge, and over time your bankroll will increase. For first, a little about me and my blackjack story, then an overview of future videos and a quiz to test your current blackjack knowledge. A little about me. A little less than 3 years ago, I was asked to join a group of 3 guys to fly to Vegas to play some golf. The only game I knew somewhat was blackjack or 21. The rules seemed simple. Get the best hand you can get without going over 21. At that time, I thought 17 would be a winning hand. How time makes us look dumb, meaning 17 is not a winning hand in the game, at least definitely not long term. We took a charter flight, meaning everyone on the plane was headed to Vegas. I chatted it up with the person to my right, who was a fellow golfer and a more seasoned gambler than myself at the time. The kind gentleman explained to me more about the game of blackjack and told me about basic strategy and handed me a basic strategy card. If you have no idea what basic strategy is or what a basic strategy card is, no worries. This is just part of my story. You will learn about basic strategy and cards and even more in future videos. The second day in Vegas, I found my way to the casino. Had 2 hours to kill before the Circus Delay show. I found a blackjack table and started to play. Frank, the kind gentleman from the plane who gave me the basic strategy card, to my could refer to it out on the table, but I was not so sure. Why would the casino give someone such an edge? As you will learn later, the basic strategy card gives you an edge. You're still playing at a disadvantage, and many people that have the card do not follow the card and makes them believe they have the edge and will bet wildly. So allowing the player to have the card at the table really does make sense for the casino. Anyway, I took the card out and the dealer said you do not need that if you have a question. I can tell you how to play the hand. And many dealers will do that for you if you're just learning. I have learned not only will the dealer express his opinion on how to play a hand, so will just about every player at the table. You see, a common myth at the game is if one player at the table does not play according to the rules of basic strategy, it will affect the outcome of the other players. Of course, this is true for single hands, but not for the long term. First experience turned out to be a winning one. Do not remember how much I made, but I just remember winning and how much I loved the game. I was obsessed. I left Vegas that week with about an extra 100 in my pocket and a new hobby, blackjack. I decided to look online for any books about blackjack. At that time, I was not expecting to find anything. Boy, was I mistaken. There's a lot to the game of blackjack. Well, it is now 3 years later and still in love with the game. I play about 4 times a week at 3 different casinos, all within about 1 hour of my home, which is nice. My first year, I was in a learning stage, did not keep track of my play. Starting in March of 2024, I thought I had a fairly good grasp of the game and finally had a decent bankroll to play. Had 5,000. Played from 2 to 3 times a week and had 4 of the 5,000 cash left, but also was given about 3 to 4,000 in comps. I did not track comps till later. The comps were for food and drink, hotel stays, flight, and a 3-day stay in Vegas. And other free trips, but I did not take them. So all in all, I consider myself ahead, but thought I could do better. Towards the end of 2024, I took December off and started to really practice and fine tune my blackjack knowledge and skills. I now consider myself a player who can win long term at blackjack or an AP, advantage player. My goal is not to win big money like the MIT team or the church team, which are both well known teams which took casinos for millions. To that, you need a huge bankroll, and you know what? And I do not want the game for me to become a job and not fun. So my goal this year is to be $1,000 ahead and enjoy all the people I meet and the free food. There will be 7 parts into becoming a winning blackjack player. Basics. Here we will learn the general rules of the game, which rules favor the player and which rules favor the casino, and what is a double split insurance and surrender. Next, learn about basic strategy, what it is and how to learn it. Running count. We'll learn a very simple method and then a high low and then we'll use the high low method of counting cards. True count. Knowing the running count is great, but pretty useless unless you know the true count. Because the true count is what you will use to determine how much you're betting. And it's also used for deviations, which is should be the last topic we cover in these videos. After true count is bankroll management. You need to you need to keep your risk of ruin to a low percentage, and your this is where your bet spread comes in. How much are you going to bet, and where's going to be your maximum bet? Uh, and that will be determined on your blackjack budget. And there are a lot of great software out there to keep your risk of ruin low. We'll be looking at all those, and also talking about the Kelly factor. Then the last topic, deviations. Deviations are changes made to playing decisions based on the true count. So, for example, basic strategy calls for you when you have a 16, maybe you have a 10 and a 6, so your total cards in your count are 16, and the dealer has a 10 showing. Basic strategy calls you to hit that, meaning ask for another card. However, the true count is 0 or positive, you stand. Uh, that's an example of deviations.